Hello YouTubers, Hammy Technoid here, and for this video I'm going to be doing a little bit of cassette stuff. Yeah, what you're looking at here is an Advent 201A, but it's only an A in the black surface part. It's really a 201. I swapped out the A part for another 201 that I have that is functional. This one is only mechanically functional. And what I'm using it for right now is I'm using it to rewind these tapes. These tapes here, my wife was once worked with the children's group at church, and she had all these tapes, and there's more tapes on the other side, and I have another case just like this filled with tapes. And I put myself on the task of just going through and rewinding them. Okay, so, and the only deck that I have that really rewinds fast are the 201s, the Advent 201s. Anybody that's ever had one or knows about them, or they're touted for their fast rewind and fast forward. Just give you an idea. This is halfway through the tape, and this is a C90. I'm gonna let you watch how fast it rewinds this tape. And it's just clipping along. I mean, it doesn't sound like it's going very fast, but it is booking. And look at those digits. They're just hauling. So yeah, it's I'd say it's got less than another 20 seconds. The timer on the clock said 130. So let's see if it makes it up to 150. Boom. It's almost there. 45, 46, 47, 48. Boom, 150. Yeah, and if you're not careful, you can break the leader off of these guys if you don't put the brakes on before it slams up against the end. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do these tapes, and then I'll get back with you on the rest of the meat of this video. So here we are back out in the living room, and what we've got is a new situation. Oh yeah. I decided to get rid of those old flimsy little tables that I had holding my equipment before, because I was getting concerned that they wouldn't be able to hold the weight, because the more equipment I stacked on them, the more wobbly they got. So I went into my wife's craft room, and got a table that my wife had, and she's not using it anymore. So I brought it out here, and then I got a hold of some rack rails, and you can see I've got the equipment mounted somewhat in them. Some of them are screwed in, some of them aren't. That one on top is definitely screwed in because it's levitating. But anyway, what I've got is the DA3000 I brought out here so I can transcribe some cassettes, and I'm using the Tascam 122 Mark III. And the reason I'm using this deck is because, well, I got it from eBay, and it was intriguing to me because, you see, it's a single cassette, or I'm sorry, it's a single capstan, but it's direct drive. See, most direct drive decks have dual capstan, but unless you've got a Revox or a Nakamichi, that second capstan still has a belt. So that belt can go bad and perish and ruin tapes and so forth, and just, you know, be bad news. So this is a single capstan direct drive, so there is no belt. And as far as I know, it uses gears for fast forward and rewind, so it has minimal belts. Maybe it has a belt to drive the counter, I'm not sure. But it is definitely direct drive for the main capstan, single capstan. And it's a very good deck, studio quality. So anyway, that's what I'm using to transcribe my tapes. And I'm going to put them onto my DA3000, which I'm setting up for 24-bit. Now, anybody who knows digital recording knows about the bit ratio to signal to noise ratio. Okay, so 1 bit is equivalent to 6 decibels of signal to noise ratio. Thereby saying, let's say, okay, if you've got an 8-bit audio recorder, but you've got, say, 48 kilohertz sampling rate, you can have a very good quality sound, but your signal to noise ratio isn't going to be so good. It's only going to be around 48 dB, 48 decibels. And that's, you know, about as good as a cassette without Dolby. So yeah, the more bits you have, the better signal to noise ratio you're going to have. So if you've got 16 bits, which most recorders do, CDs have 16 bits, you're looking at 96 decibel signal to noise, which is pretty good, very good. But a 24-bit, you add 48 more decibels onto that 96, and you've got 144 decibels of possible signal to noise ratio. And I say possible because no electronics that I'm aware of have a signal to noise ratio of 144 decibels. We're talking more, what is typical in high-end gear is like 100, 102 decibels maximum signal to noise. I mean, you walk up to your speaker and put your ear by the tweeter, if you hear a slight little hiss, you're doing good, okay? But anyway, yeah, what I'm doing is I'm setting this up to transcribe cassettes, and I've got a DBX unit connected just in case I got a DBX tape, and I've got a DBX routing switcher right there, and in line I've got a possibility to put the brick wall limiter if I want to, okay? And the first in line is going to be the Carver sonic hologram if I want to, and then the second in line is going to be the wild card. I don't know what I'll put in there. It may vary from video to video. But anyway, one thing that I wanted to show on this cassette deck, and cassettes in general, because I was mentioning this was about cassettes, is, let me get a little closer here, is there's a little window here by the counter that tells you when you put in a tape what kind of tape it is. Okay, I'm going to eject this guy, and I'm going to put in a type 1 tape. That's type 1. And see, it says normal. All right, and that's because it's a type 1 tape. They consider that normal. So I'm going to eject that one. Take that out. Now this is a type 2 tape, also referred to as chromium dioxide. And you see it's got a little indicator there. It says CrO2, chromium dioxide. Okay, so I'm going to eject that tape. And this tape is a metal, Scotch Metafine. Okay, so I'm going to put that tape in there. I'm going to close it. See, it says metal. Now, what makes those indicate are the little slots in the back. If you look at the slots on this guy, it's got one by the record erase tab, and then it's got the two in the middle. The two in the middle determine that it's metal. Okay, now you have a chromium dioxide, which is this one. It doesn't have the two in the middle, but it has the one opening by the record protect slot. Okay, and then for a type 1 tape, it has just the record protect slot. There's no extra openings. Well, anyway, that's what I wanted to cover first, preliminary, before we go into the next video, because it's going to be interesting. So thanks for watching, and until next time, see you later.